Welcome back. Let's kick off the discussion this morning with the outcome of the monitoring and impact assessment of terrorism in 163 countries. The 2017 Global Terrorism Index, GTI, released this week shows that Nigeria, for the third year running, is the third most terrorized nation in the world. Wow. Well, the country, which has been battling the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast for many years, occupied the same ranking in 2015 and 2016, except in 2014 when it ranked 4th. Even though Nigeria's ranking remained unchanged, the report shows that the largest improvement in 2016 as far as terrorism is concerned occurred in Nigeria, where terrorism deaths attributed to Boko Haram decreased by 80%. Is that good news?
Yeah,
it is.
We always have to find the silver lining in the midst of a cloud.
You know, I remember then, you know, every Sunday, you know, when you remember,
you're just every Sunday, like every
other day. But I think particularly on Sundays, you're thinking, okay, so which church or which area is going to be bombed? But thank God for his mercies, you know. And like Nigeria, Iraq, and Afghanistan have had not, you know, they've not changed the ranking. Iran remains #1 and Afghanistan number two. So how did we get here? What is it that, you know, brought about that little change that we are seeing? We have in the studio this morning two of our guests. They are the security expert, Captain Umar Aliyu. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
And another security expert, Ahmed Kadiri.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. Thank you. Thank you. So let me start with you. How did we get here? Looking at this result, is the 5th one for GTI.
Well, with the inception of the Buhari administration, a lot of efforts were made in concentrating military resources in combating Boko Haram. So, and it has been sustained, it has been consistent, it has been unrelenting, which is, for me, it's a no-brainer that we have gotten to this stage, and it has to be sustained.
So it's been sustained, consistent, and unrelenting.
And unrelenting.
So that's how we got to where we are.
Precisely.
Captain Aliyu.
Well, way back 2014, Boko Haram was the deadliest terror cell on earth that put us on one. Today, 2017, by the Global Terrorist Index, we have dropped to 3. But that's at the global level. If you decompose that and brought it way back in, let's talk about, say, a national terrorist index now. We're going to be looking at an 80% decrease in deaths in that area. And 2017 saw 3,100 deaths less than 2016. That's what largely brought about the 80% decrease. Now that is good, but then the law of progress has always had one question, and that is what sustains progress. What next? Let this news not let us sleep on the switch, rest on our hours. Okay, we've been able, we still have a lot of work to do. So globally, it's looking good. Nationally, the figures are saying, well, there's been a decrease. If you were doing 0 and you scored 2, even if 2 is not a pass mark, but it's an increase. That's it. So we've dropped 80%. We've seen a drop, a lull in the figures, 80%. That's wonderful. Now we're either going to improve on that or at the very least sustain it. That's the what next aspect of the law of progress. Continuous improvement, if you like.
Now, let's look at some of the reasons that, you know, this new report. The report says multinational joint task force and the fracture in Boko Haram camp is one. Those are 2 points or factors that gave us this kind of figures that we have. Do you think in that area, you know, they actually are those factors that we can also look at?
Yes, there are factors that have informed the improvement we have seen. If you observed, as at 2014, we were yet to get our acts together. Some people were busy trying to qualify the threat rather than look at the damage it was doing. Now it's no longer a religion thing. They have made it clear that churches, mosques, human beings, children, whatever, they are threats to everyone. So that led to the multinational joint task force. And other than the multinational joint task force, we have also been able to see a global, you know, harmonization of resolve to fight this scourge. And all over the world, terrorism is taking a recession. Okay, and even though it is taking a recession, the report still says the number of countries that have experienced at least one terrorist attack, 2016, increased from 65 to 77. Now what that simply means is these guys are splintering up and they're spreading in small pockets. Now splintering up itself means the center cannot hold. Boko Haram, for example, in the last 2 years collapsed under its own weight. Now they have splinter groups and each one is actually trying to do its own thing. So that coordination, that leverage, that synergy is no longer there. And these are the opportunities we must exploit. You know, there are windows that are open, and right now we must just pass right through them and make sure that we exploit them optimally.
Okay, Mr. Kadri, even though Nigeria seems to have dropped, I mean, the number of deaths dropped by 80%, but our level seems to remain the same, or has, according to the report, we're the same. You've talked about sustained effort. How much of that sustained effort can you really say is sustained?
Well, I believe that, like I said before, it's an unrelenting effort, and therefore that aspect is what sustains that drive. Now, since the inception of the Trump administration, Nigeria has been able to acquire hardware from the United States and from other parts of the world. This has been a morale booster in sustaining that tempo. Now, we'll notice that Boko Haram has kind of intensified its attacks, which means they are quite resolved in fighting back and ensuring that their agenda, whatever it might be, is attained. But be that as it may, I do not believe that Boko Haram would emerge victorious, but like as Aliu has said, there is a global resolve in combating terrorist activities, as we have seen in Iraq, as we have seen in Syria, as we have seen in parts of North Africa, and now in Nigeria.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, we'll just take a moment to come back to continue this conversation. Please don't go away.